Lesson 7. This lesson will show the user how to create a scatter plot. In this lesson, I have included how to create a chart in Excel. This is right from the help section of Excel. Now, the help, I'll show you where that is as soon as we go to an Excel spreadsheet. The first thing I'd like to do is define what correlation is. A correlation is a relationship between two variables. The data can be represented by the ordered pair XY, where X is the independent for explanatory variable and Y is the dependent or response variable. You can have a positive correlation where as X increases, Y tends to increase. You can have a negative correlation as X increases, Y tends to decrease, or you have no correlation, X and Y have no distinct pattern, and nonlinear correlation, X and Y may have another pattern such as a parabola or an exponential. For this example of correlation, I decided to take the gross domestic product in trillions of dollars, and it's abbreviated GDP, and that will be our X. And then our Y will be the CO2 emissions in millions of dollars. And I got this from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Okay, I've opened up an Excel spreadsheet, and if you notice, I copied our table from the previous screen. So X is our GDP, and Y is the CO2 emissions. Remember I told you I was going to show you where to get that help section? Well, if you go up to the top of the screen in Excel, you'll see help. So if you click help, you got to click it twice. And over here, you'll see help. And that screen will come up. And what you want to do is create a scatter plot. That's all you have to type, and it will say enter, and it will give you the results for creating a scatter plot. So we're going to create a chart from start to finish. And there it is. Create a chart, and it tells you exactly what to do. So it says select the data for your chart. We know what it is over here. So up here it says insert. So I'm up on the top line. It says insert. And then it's going to say recommended charts. Okay. But it said you didn't select anything. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to select my array right here. So I went from A3 all the way down to B12 and I selected. Once again, I went from A3 down to B12. Okay, recommended charts. And it's going to tell you use a scatter plot. So here you go. Just click that. And there it is. You don't have to do anything else. All you had to do was say OK and click it. So now I want to add a trend line. Where do you find that? Well, this plus sign right here, our chart elements. And down here it says trend line. So it's the last thing, and you can see it. Now this has a positive correlation because as the X increases, the Y also increases. All right, you're going to ask me, how do I add titles to this for the axis? Once again, chart elements, come over here, axis titles, And on the y-axis, that's our CO2 level, CO2 emissions. Well, let's see what that gives us. We don't want that axis title, so we'll click that and we'll just delete it or backspace. And we also want to say that this is in millions of dollars. Okay. We're going to come down to the x-axis, and here we're going to put the GDP. Remember, click in the box, GDP, in trillions. You can't even see it. Trillions of dollars. And there you are there. Okay, we're going to create the correlation coefficient. That can go from 0 to 1, with 1 being the strongest correlation. And as you can see, this is pretty strong. So I'm going to come down here to A16 and see how we can do that. Well, we come over to AutoSum, more functions. I want to type in correlation, hit OK, and it gives you a couple of them. There's the correlation, Pearson, and another one, but we just want the regular correlation coefficient. So now it's asking for the array. What is your X? Well, the first one goes from A3 down to A12. So all I did was highlight that. You can see it. All right. Array 2 is going to be your Y's. So from B3 down to B12, that's your second array. Once you do that, all you have to do is hit OK. And you're going to see the correlation coefficient right here. So I'm going to open that up a little bit for you and let you see it. Once again, the correlation coefficient is close to 0.9. 1 being the strongest. This is, very, very strong. So this ends the discussion on scatter plots and correlation coefficient.